While the discovery of artificial light certainly has made us a more productive and efficient society, there is a dark side to light that many achievers would do well to consider. According to the May 2012 issue of Harvard Health Letter, the light that sets us aglow at night as we work well past quitting time, check emails, send texts, share information on social media sites, and flip through the pages on e readers. All this puts us at risk for serious health problems. It puts us at risk. It's dangerous for us. And this is especially true when it comes to types of light emitted by electronics and energy efficient light bulbs. According to the article, although blue wavelengths are beneficial during daylight hours because they boost our attention, our reaction times, and our mood, and they can be quite disruptive to our health and well-being at night, particularly today's high-powered electronic age, where screens rule day and night. Screens rule. Screens are the most important thing. Screens are TV screens, telephone screens, computer screens, iPad screens. Screens rule. Screens are the most important thing. The costs. The average circadian cycle is 24 and a quarter hours, but it is daylight that keeps our internal clocks aligned with our environment. Aligned means in sync with or coordinated with. When we upset the balance with repeated exposure to light and day, it can throw our rhythm off and wreak havoc on our health. Wreak havoc means cause problems with our health. Wreak havoc. This effect has been demonstrated through numerous experiments, showing that certain types of cancer, breast and prostate, are associated with night shift work and exposure to light at night. Although researchers are not yet certain exactly why night light exposure has such a negative impact, they believe it's at least partly related to the fact that exposure to light suppresses the secretion of melatonin. It suppresses, pushes down, inhibits, prevents the secretion of melatonin, the release of melatonin. Melatonin is a hormone that affects the circadian rhythms, your sleeping rhythms. Some preliminary research suggests that lower melatonin levels may explain the association with cancer. So let's go back here and look at the word circadian, and I'm going to right click. Oops. If I right click on my computer, it's not working. Okay, well, oh yeah, synonyms. Circadian is 24 hours, day to day, every day. In this case, it's the 24-hour circadian rhythms, or 24-hour rhythms. Okay, let's continue. In fact, one researcher, Professor Abraham Haim at the University of Haifa, believes that light at night is a carcinogenic environmental pollutant. Light at night is a carcinogenic environmental pollutant. Carcinogenic causes cancer. Pollutant is something that pollutes. It's a noun for pollution. It is a carcinogenic environmental pollutant that will continue to negatively impact our health, affect our health, as well as well-being. and well-being until the world recognizes its harmful effects and makes important changes to how and when we use light. Harvard researchers have also found a possible link between disruptions in the circadian rhythms and diabetes and obesity. When subjects were put on a schedule which gradually shifted their circadian rhythms, their blood sugar levels increased and their levels of leptin. What's leptin? It's a hormone that causes people to feel full after a meal. Their levels of leptin, a hormone that causes people to feel full after a meal, decreased. So their levels of leptin decreased. And after the comma, they give you the definition, right? Furthermore, sleep experts have long contended that exposure to light at night interferes with sleep, and this view has found support from research. For example, a 2011 study published in the Endocrine Society's Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism, JCEM, revealed that exposure to artificial light between sunset and bedtime strongly suppresses melatonin levels, which can negatively impact physiological processes that are regulated by melatonin, including sleep, thermoregulation, blood pressure, and glucose levels. Let's see if we can find thermoregulation here in our dictionary here. Nope, it's not there. Controlling your temperature. Glucose levels, I think it's the same in everyone else's language, so we're not going to even go over that. Type of light and their impact. According to the Harvard article, while light of any kind can suppress the secretion of melatonin, blue light does so much more powerfully. In an experiment comparing the effects of 6.5 hours of exposure to blue light to exposure to green light of comparable brightness, Harvard researchers and their colleagues have discovered that blue light suppresses melatonin for twice as long as green light, and it shifted the circadian rhythms by twice as much, 3 hours versus an hour and a half. So what does that mean? It means blue light affects you more than green light. In other words, blue light at night when you're reading is not good for you. Blue light on your computer screens is not good for you. In another study out of the University of Toronto, researchers compared the melatonin levels of people exposed to bright indoor light who were wearing blue light blocking goggles to those to regular dim light without goggles, and they discovered that melatonin levels in both groups were about the same, supporting the hypothesis that blue light suppresses melatonin secretion. Ham's research has also found similar results. We're over here. Similar results showing that white LED light, which is blue light on the spectrum, suppresses the production of melatonin 5 more times than orange-yellow light given off by traditional high-pressure sodium bulbs, that metal halide bulbs, often used for stadium lighting, suppress melatonin at a rate 3 times higher than the HBS hub. What's HBS? High pressure sodium bulbs. According to Luis Arrondo of Foundation Healing, examples of light sources high in melatonin suppressing blue light include LED light bulbs, computer monitors, laptop monitors, iPads, iPhones, and similar devices, handheld video games, electronic gadgets, LED televisions, LED digital clocks. Well, what can you do? Although glasses that block out blue light can be rather expensive, if you do a lot of work at night, it might be worth to invest in them. Glasses that block out blue light. Never heard of them. Number 2, try considering FLux, a free download that adjusts the lighting of your computer depending on the time of day. Okay, so you can check that out on YouTube. Number 3, if you must use a night light, use dim red lights. According to the Harvard Health Review, red light has the least power to shift the circadian rhythm and suppress melatonin. Number 4, avoid melatonin suppressing light sources described above, beginning 2 or 3 hours before bed. So don't be reading your computer less than 2 or 3 hours before bed. Expose yourself to bright light during daytime hours, which should not only improve your mood alertness during the day, but also help you sleep at night. Reconfigure lighting in your home so that it mimics firelight, which is rich in red and yellow wavelengths. This could mean shutting off the overhead lights and using the floor lamp and table lamps with orange and yellow bulbs in the evening. Of course, it means foregoing computer and television use, especially just before bedtime. It may sound drastic, it may sound radical, it may sound like too much, but for the person with persistent insomnia, these changes can help.